So we have done in last stanza that Edla came to meet Red Trap Seller and she wanted to take him home for Christmas. She looked at him compassionately with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid, and she came to him and she was very loving and compassionate towards him, and she saw that man was afraid. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from the jail. It was looking like he was so afraid that it could be seen in his face that maybe he must have stolen something and he was a criminal who has escaped from the jail. She thought and added quickly. She was thinking this, and after that she said, "You may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as freely as you came. Only please stay with us over Christmas Eve." And so she said, "Don't worry, as you have come here, you will be free to go wherever you want. But please, I request you to stay here for Christmas Eve." She said this in such a friendly manner that the red trap peddler must have felt confidence in her. And he felt confidence in her, he believed in her, and it would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself. He said, it never happened to me before, and you yourself came here to take me, and I will come at once. I cannot say no now because you have come yourself to take me, and I will not say no. I will come with you." He accepted the fur coat which the valet handed him with a deep bow. So valet means the servant. The servant handed him that fur coat with a deep bow with due respect. Threw it over his racks, the dirty clothes which he was wearing, and allowed the young lady out to the carriage. And then they went to the carriage, the vehicle, without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. And he did not even see to the blacksmith sitting there. Those were surprised to see him. He did not look at them, and directly he went to the carriage. But while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Now, when he was going to that manor house, farmhouse, he has evil foreboding. Forbidding, you can say that bad omens. Bad omens he had. "Why the devil did I take the fellow's money?" he thought. "Now I am sitting in the trap and will never get out of it." And what he was thinking, he was thinking about that money which he has taken from the pouch. And he said, "I am also trapped now, and I'll not be able to come out of this." The next day was Christmas Eve, and then the ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast. He probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. So he was the next day, ironmaster, he came in the dining room for the breakfast, and he was very satisfied to see that old regimental, that captain was sitting there. "First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little flesh on his bone," he said to his daughter. And he said to his daughter that first of all, we must see that he gets a little flesh on his bone. It means he must be looking very thin and he must be looking very weak. So he said he should eat well and get some flesh in his bones. Who was busy at the table. And then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling red trap. So he said, first of all, we have to give him proper food so that he will become good and he will become healthy and fit and fine. And after that, we should think something for him so that he will not move around selling this red trap. "It is queer that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that," said the daughter. And daughter was feeling very strange. She was feeling very strange that to see the condition of that man. "Last night, I did not think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man." And she said, "Last time when I saw him, I could not think of that he would have been an educated man," because they were not thinking he was a red trap seller. They were thinking that both of them, father and daughter, they were thinking that he is a captain. "You must have patience, my little girl," said the father. "As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different." And father said, "Don't worry, my dear daughter. When he will be clean, he will wear good clothes, then you can see he will look different. Last night, he was naturally embarrassed. The tramp's manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes." He said last night he was very embarrassed, but now when the tramp manner will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. He said when he will wear good clothes, he's all this bad manners like a tramp or beggar or this, they will also go with his clothes only. When he will wear good clothes, he will also become good. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. Now he came and he was truly clean. Everything was clean and he was wearing very good dress. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair and shaved him. He has taken bath also. The servant helped him in that and cut his hair also, and he was with clean shave. Moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of clothes which belonged to the ironmaster, and he was wearing a very good-looking suit also, which was of ironmaster. He wore a white shirt and a starched collar and whole shoes. He wore clean white shirt with a starched collar and whole shoes. But although his guest was now so well groomed, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. Now, guest was looking very nice. He was well groomed now. He was wearing dress also nicely. He was looking very smart and handsome. But ironmaster was not happy. He looked at him with the puckered brow. Puckered brow means wrinkled brow. When we are we want to show some confusion and all, we also do that. We wrinkle our eyebrow. And it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. But that now, when they stood there in a broad daylight, it was impossible to make mistake for an old acquaintance. Because afterwards, when that red trip seller, he was dressed nicely, he was neat and clean, he was clean shaved also, then ironmaster was confused. He said when he was sitting near the furnace like a beggar, I could make the mistake. But now I cannot make the mistake, because I cannot make this mistake of recognizing my old acquaintance. Acquaintance means people we know. People we know. What does this mean? He thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. So he said, what does this mean? And now he was confused. He said, what is this? The stranger made an attempt to dissimulate. Mean he was hiding his feeling. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. So he got it that whatever display was being held there, he was looking very smart, he was looking very handsome, and they were thinking he was a captain. This all has come to an end. And it is not my fault, sir, he said. He said, it is not my fault. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader. Like in this way, the stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He did not make any attempt to hide his feeling or anything. And he said, it was not my fault. I never did anything. I was just being as a poor trader, nothing else. And I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge. And I did not come here in my own wish. I was asking you, I was begging you, I was requesting you to leave me in the forge. But no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. He said, no harm is done till now also. I can put on my old clothes again and I can go from here. Well said, the ironmaster, hesitating a little. It was not quite honest either. He said, well said, but it was not quite honest. You should have told, you should have admitted. You must admit that, and I should not be surprised to the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. He said, I should not be surprised if he said, I will not be surprised when the sheriff here we can take off judge or magistrate. You will be taken to him, and whatever he wants to say, he will say in that manner. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. He came forward and he has beaten the table with his fist. Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are. He said, this whole world is nothing but a big trap. He was thinking earlier also, this whole word is big trap. He said, this whole word is big trap. All the good things are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds and bits of pork. He said, whatever this word offers you, all the good things, whatever this word offers you, they are nothing, just they are like bet. Okay, bits of pork and this cheese rinds. Cheese, thick cheese rinds means the skin of the cheese, which looks very tasty. Set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. He said, I understood now this whole word is red trap, and whatever you were giving me, whatever was there in front of me, you have given me, that was also a trap for putting me into a trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap. He said, okay, if the magistrate comes and he takes me inside, he locks me, then you also remember the same thing will happen to you also once. You will also want a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap, and you will also get caught in the trap. The ironmaster began to laugh. He started laughing. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve. But now get out of here as fast as you can. He said, it's okay, but I don't want to trouble sheriff now in the Christmas Eve. Better you go out from here as soon as possible. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that, she went and closed the door. And the daughter came. She said, I think he should not go today. He should be here. And she closed the door. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. And father was very angry. He said, why are you doing this? The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how home-like and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. And that morning she was very happy. She was feeling, because there were only two in home, so she was feeling very happy that somebody has come. Now she will make all the Christmas stuffs for that hungry man. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabonds, and that was why she said, this stranger, this vagabonds should be here. I am thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. And she was feeling very worried. Actually, she was worried for him. She said, whole year he is walking from here and there, from one place to another, and not a single place is there in this whole country where he can feel cozy like home. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined, and always he is afraid that somebody will arrest him, police will arrest him, and they will ask him questions. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. So she was very concerned about that rat trap seller. She said he is always roaming from here to there, and he has stolen the money also. That's why he is worried that police will come or somebody will lock him and they will ask the questions, and he doesn't have any good home also. So I should like to have him at least for one day. He should sit here, relax and in peace, and just one in the whole year. At least for one day he can sit with us, he can be with us and enjoy the Christmas. So this shows the concern of that girl towards the rat trap seller. So in last stanza we have done that ironmaster daughter wanted rat trap seller to live in their home for Christmas, because she says he whole year he keeps on moving from one place to another, and he does not have any feel of home also. So I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. She said, let him be here, just one day he could enjoy. The ironmaster mumbled something in his beard. He could not bring himself to oppose her. He mumbled, he said something, and he could not say no now to his daughter. It was all a mistake, of course, she continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here, and to whom we have promised a Christmas cheer. She said, we cannot do like this to anyone. We were the only one. We asked him to come here, and we asked him to celebrate Christmas with us, and we promised him this. You do preach worse than a parson. So his father said to him, you speak or preach worse than a priest. Parson means priest. Said the ironmaster, I only hope you won't have to regret this. He said, whatever you are doing, it's okay, you do, but you should not regret afterward. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given in. So she could see the father has given the permission. So she was asking him to eat. The man with red traps said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. So he was just eating. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? So he was thinking that again and again, why this young girl has prayed for him. She has taken this decision for him. But why she must have done this? Why could the crazy idea be? That could be a crazy idea. After that, at the Christmas Eve at Ramses passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest room and slept at the stretch. He did not say anything. He just ate and slept. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare. But after that he slept again. They woke him up in the afternoon and he ate all the Christmas food, and after that again he slept. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramsor. So this was it was looking like from so many years he was not able to sleep properly. So today he was sleeping in there. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, then woke him up again, and he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. But after that it disappeared again. 2 hours later he was aroused once more. He then had to go down into the dining room and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. So again he got up in the afterwards, and candlelight was there, blinking candlelight, and it was like the light was also hurting him. Again after eating he disappeared. Then 2 hours later he came again in the dining room to eat Christmas fish and porridge. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. He said thank you and good night. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be Christmas present. He did not have to return it, and if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no evil would befall him, he would be welcomed back again. So she said, which coat you are wearing it is Christmas present for you. It is for my father's side. And if next Christmas Eve also you wanted to come here, you can come here. There will be no bad thing for you. You are welcome again. The man with the red stripes did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. He was very surprised because that girl was so caring and loving towards him. The next morning, the ironmaster and his daughter got up in the good season to go to the early Christmas service. They wanted to go to church for the Christmas service. The guest was still asleep and they did not disturb him. He was still sleeping, Red Tripsilla was still sleeping, and they did not want to disturb him. When at about 10 o'clock they drove back from the church, the younger sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. At church she had learned that one of the old crofter of the ironwork had been robbed by a man who went around selling red tape. So she was now very depressed, disappointed, because she heard in the church that one of the ironworkers, somebody has robbed him, and that he was red tape seller. So she got to know that he would be the same person who came to her in their house. Yet that was a fine fellow you let into the house, said her father. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. And father was now sarcastically, father was saying, see, that was maybe that person who came inside, he would be a fine fellow, and I don't know how many silver spoons from our cupboard he has taken. The wagon had hardly stopped at the front step. Then the ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there. He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. So he asked the servant that the man is still there, because they know now he was not the captain, he was a thief. The valet answered that he fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. He said, no, that person has gone, but he has not taken anything. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package which Miss Wilmanson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. He said he has left a passage for your daughter, and she could accept it like a Christmas present. The young girl opened the package, which was so badly done up that contents came into view at once. She gave a little cry of joy. The condition of packet was very bad, and she started crying of joy. She found a small red trap. A very small red trap was there, and in it lay 3 wrinkled 10-corner notes. The 10 corners notes were there, see. But that was not at all, and not all. In the red trap lay also letter written in the large red characters. So there was one letter also, and it read like this: Honored and noble miss, since you have been so nice to me all day long. So he was calling him honorable and noble miss because she had been so nice to him. As if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you. So he said, you have treated me as a captain. You were so nice and noble to me, and I also want to be nice to you. In return, as if I was a real captain, I also want to act like I was a real captain. For I don't want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. but you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bet for poor wanderers. So he said, I don't want to spoil a Christmas, so you can give this back to that person in whose window it was hanging. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this word rat trap if he had not been raised to captain. And he said, the rat trap is Christmas present for you because rat who would have been caught in this word rat trap if he had not been raised to a captain. He said, you have treated me like a captain, otherwise this person also would have been a rat in rat trap of this word, because in that way he got power to clear himself, because he said, you were the only one, you treated me like a captain, and then only I realized myself, and because in that way he got power to clear himself. I got a strength and power to come out of this rat trap. The rat trap which he was talking about, this whole word is rat trap. He said, because of you, you opened my eyes, and because of you, I am clear of all these things now. Written with friendship and high regards, Captain Von Stale. He's written with Captain, and then he has written, he said, lots of regards to you, and with friendship, you are Captain Von Stale. You can resemble this chapter rat trap. This is the end of the rat trap. We have done in 9th or 10th standard book. There was a bishop candlesticks. If you remember, there was a bishop, there was a priest, and the thief came to steal his candlestick. But afterwards, at last, he was also turned to a good person. So our loving and caring nature can even turn a victim, even turn a criminal to be a nice one, because criminals are not born, they are made. There are some issues, there may be any cause, because of that they turn like a criminal or thief. So by our loving and caring nature and helping nature, with our compassion, with our generosity, when we help others, we can also turn the heart of everyone to be a good person in this world. Hope you understood the chapter. That was a long one. If not, feel free to contact me.